Well, you got another day. Be thankful. I am mortgage coach Ronnie Wilson. Glad to be here today. I noticed today it was National Alcohol Screening Day as well as National Chinese Almond Cookie Day. So it may be a good day to run down to your favorite Chinese food restaurant and get you some almond. Hey, I wanted to get rolling real quick here because I got a special guest that I'm going to bring in. Before transition of extra guest in work with. It's going to be in regards to something that we talked about yesterday. We talked about 4 financial health exercises. And so I want to bring those up. Uh-oh. A little bit of a hint there. If you guys know that guy, you are probably really excited. But before we get to him, let's look at these 4 financial health exercises. Yesterday, we talked about evaluating your savings, looking at your budget. Do you need to change your budget? We also talked about reviewing your emergency fund. Now may be a good time to boost it. I mean, we're not going out to restaurants. We're not going to the movies, concerts, sporting events. That's all discretionary income that we may now have stocking up in our savings account. So maybe let's move that over to an emergency fund if that's something that you need to do. You may be on the other hand and be like, what am I going to do with this stimulus check? Maybe you want to stick that into your emergency fund. But the key is you want to have a plan. You want to stick to it. You want to talk to somebody you can trust. You and your spouse get together and come up with a plan. Step number 2, this is a great time to review your estate planning. Estates are wills, succession plans. My guest can definitely talk a whole lot more about that. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in here. There he is. This is Daniel Wilkins, guys. Daniel,
hey, Ronnie.
So
I'm doing great. I hope you are.
I am. I'm doing fine. I appreciate you jumping on here with me. How's COVID been treating you? I see you're at the house.
Well, I'm actually at my office, so I'm able to come in periodically. The law office and attorneys are part of the group that's considered essential services. So I've been able to at least maintain some office presence.
All right. Well, good deal. I am sure a part of you is thinking, hey, this is the pot calling the kettle black. For those of you guys who don't know, I've had a will. I just haven't executed it in a little while because I don't like necessarily thinking about what's going to happen to my children if the Taliban captures me and Rebecca, or what am I going to do if I'm ever on life support? These are not things that any of us like to think about, but I'm sure Daniel would agree that not only is it a good idea to think about it, it's a good idea to act on it. Daniel, why do you think wills are so important?
Well, it really is. I consider it vitally important. And when I talk about an estate plan for people, the first thing that people might say is that, well, I don't have much money, so I don't really need it. And it's not about how much money or assets you have. If you have anything, then you can cause just as much problems if you have a little bit than a lot of stuff. So I understand certainly that some people find it difficult or maybe morbid to think about what happens when I'm gone. I try to make that conversation as easy as possible, and through a number of different questions and talking through it. But I think the biggest problem people have is just like you said, people are a little afraid or concerned about addressing those issues. So when you talk about the last will and testament, that's just what you've got. What do you want to have happen with your stuff, with guardianship for your kids in your will, which is incredibly important. But even aside from your will, a good estate plan needs a power of attorney for legal and financial affairs and a power of attorney for healthcare, because not having those documents can cause an incredible hassle and expense for your family if something happens to you and you become incapacitated, but nobody's been appointed to act on your behalf. A lot of people don't realize that spouses don't automatically have the ability to act for their other spouse. I think you can probably attest to that in your line of work. If you have one spouse try to contact the other spouse's account information, they won't talk to them. And so the very simple things like that, a power of attorney can take care of.
Absolutely, I have seen some real estate messes when people don't have POAs, when they don't have wills. I almost see more messes when they have some that are not done correctly. So I want to encourage everyone that this is not something that you go to willsfordummies.com and make your own. You really want to pay to have this done professionally. Daniel, do you find that one of the biggest, I guess, hurdles, or one of the biggest things that keeps people from doing this is simply procrastination, or would you say maybe it's cost? Because I felt like it was very reasonable when you helped me and Rebecca out.
Well, I do think that people feel like cost is going to be a barrier. And for me, I feel like these documents are so important that I try to work with people's ability to pay as much as I can. And I tell people that, or potential clients or existing clients, that it's better to get this done and we'll sort out the payment as best we can. And as far as the paying to have it done versus trying to figure it out yourself, a big part of my practice is not only the estate planning on the front end, but also probate and settling estates on the back end. And I can't tell you how many estates that I have that had to deal with and that families have had to spend thousands of dollars on because somebody tried to write their own will and they ended up just making it worse. Or somebody tried to write a power of attorney they just pulled off online. I used to be general counsel for a local bank, and one of my jobs was to assess people's powers of attorney when they brought them into the bank. Somebody would come in and say, "Hey, my mom's POA. I need to get into her accounts to pay her bills," and they would send it up to me to review. And probably half the time, they hadn't done something right, and it was pretty clear they had just pulled something off the internet, and they couldn't do what they wanted to do.
You can't trust the internet for everything. Probably.
I'm sorry.
Well, hey, listen.
I can hear you now.
Yeah. So, last question. You have your own law firm, right? You're not working for a larger partnership. Small business kind of going all right with you there as far as this is concerned. I know that you've looked into some SBA stuff, and what are your thoughts on some of that?
Well, a couple of aspects of that question there. First, I am a small business. I'm a sole practitioner of firm, and I had worked 12 years with some good reputable firms downtown before I opened my own office 2 years ago, and it has been going well. The COVID crisis, and we had a lot of canceled appointments and people concerned about doing anything until they kind of got stuff squared away. More recently, I've been able to work with people online or over the phone. We can do almost everything remotely with my clients other than actually signing documents. And because I've got my own office, I'm not sharing it with other people, so I can schedule very independent and limit any contact that people might have that are concerned about the virus. The Small Business Association or Administration has particularly two loans that are available: the Paycheck Protection Program and then the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. Both of those are going to be paid out very liberally, and they have they're forgivable loans as long as you use them for the right type of things. Use them to pay the qualified items. I've helped a lot of different businesses and small businesses and some large businesses, some independent contractors even, or other sole practitioners work through that process. So if anybody has any questions about even where to go or how to do it, I certainly would be glad to talk them through that.
Well, Daniel, thanks a lot for taking a minute with me. Tell Jennifer, tell her hi, and you guys take care of yourself.
Really well. Good to talk to you, Ronnie.
All right, man. We'll see you. There you go, folks. It's another day. Maybe something very helpful for you. Maybe the most helpful thing that you've ever gotten out of me. I don't know. Remember me, if you're looking for a second opinion, mortgage coach Ronnie Wilson, first and second opinions. Enjoy your day. Be thankful.